A couple things just as we go through this. Obviously, really good first day. Awesome for our players. To have the fans out here in Metairie was really fun. A couple roster things. Dallin Holker obviously went through a transition there, so he's retiring, and so that was a little bit procedural there. But we appreciate everything he's done. He's an awesome guy, and looking forward to everything he's going to do. And then we obviously have a couple roster spots as a result of that we'll get to in the coming, probably in the next day. We'll make a couple transactions there. So. Open up for questions.
Got a break on the weather on day one, huh?
Yeah, love it. Yeah, it was beautiful. So it was really good.
What did you think first day?
Yeah, I felt like it was good. It's the first day coming off of a summer break. There's always an element of you want it to be a lot cleaner and a lot smoother, but thought our guys came out. The effort was good. We'll clean up a lot of the details, and that's what training camp's all about.
How do you want to approach this first week? Is it throw as much at them as possible, or is it really incremental as it builds?
Naturally, this is a installation phase of our process, and so it's more package each and every day, and so we're building as we go. There's certainly plenty of workload. There's plenty of stuff that they need to accumulate over the course of the next few days, and so this thing will just continue to grow and get bigger. Practices will get longer. We'll enter the pad phase next week, and so we'll just keep building.
And I know it's only day one, but what did you think of how the quarterbacks handled running the offense?
Yeah, quarterbacks did a nice job. I think all of them hopped in there, did a really good job. I think, again, as we talk about the focus, there's the physical component, but then there's the operation, and really keen on seeing those guys operate at a really high level.
Was a part of it seemed like there were some reps where y'all went up tempo and everything.
Yep.
Was that part of trying to figure that and the operation?
Tempo will be a part of each and every practice in some capacity, and so we just sprinkle it in based off the situations, and just so our guys get more and more accustomed to it.
Kellen, how important it is that you're able to find someone that you could trust to relieve Alvin Kamara as far as the second and third running back, someone you can lean on?
Certainly we feel like, in this league it's a long NFL season. Certainly Alvin's going to lead the way with that group, but you need other guys to hop in there, and we feel like we got a really good group there. Guys that have some guys with some experience that is very valuable, and then some really young guys that we're fired up for. And so we're going to need a couple of those guys to hop in there and be ready to roll and utilize all those guys.
How have you found tempo to be beneficial throughout? It seems like that's kind of a common point throughout each of your stops. Where did that kind of originate? Well, how do you like it so much?
Yeah, just changing the rhythm of the game, being able to control it in some capacity. And so sometimes you're going fast, sometimes you're going slow, and everything in between. And the more we just rep that, get ourselves exposure to it, get ourselves prepared for the season, and then it also prepares the defense for whenever they play a team that's going to play with some form of tempo. We'll just continue to utilize it.
Right, how important is it to have that variety? Because it's not, you think of tempo, it's just go, but there's not like variance there.
There's a rhythm to the game, and you're constantly trying to control the rhythm and change it up. And I think if the defense gets a feel for you, they kind of know the rhythm that you play with, the time and the play clock that you snap the football with. They can allow them to kind of play and control some things from their perspective.
What are some of the challenges?
Young quarterbacks going through a battle like this, for young quarterbacks going through a battle like this, does managing noise become part of that process, and not allowing that to affect anything that happens out there?
I think that's a big part for these guys, just navigating this. It's a training camp process. You're going to have ups, you're going to have downs. You just kind of focus in on your task at hand, and I think we have the right type of guys in that room to handle this, and they'll do an excellent job.
What are some of the challenges that you've seen so far, not with these quarterbacks in particular, but with quarterbacks as a whole, and just executing the up-tempo game?
Yeah, the tempo, I think it's just getting all 11 on the same page. There's a lot of communication that goes with it. You're controlling the cadence, you're playing at a really fast level, but you got to play under control, and so that's what we're going to continue to develop and keep pushing. You got to play as fast as you can, but under control, and utilize all the tools you need.
Kellen, you mentioned yesterday kind of the rotation is going to be, okay, this is that player's day with the ones. Is this kind of the split that you would expect on most days?
Yeah, certainly the volume will increase as we go each and every day, and so these practices, this is the first practice come off of the summer break, and so you're going to have a quicker practice than you will in the next few days, and so the reps will increase. We'll try and lean into these guys as far as getting them, just some consistency in their practices. Spencer obviously took most of the ones, just about all the ones today. Tyler will take them tomorrow, and so we'll just kind of continue to rotate all these guys.
Yeah, and how is that communicated? Is it, is there a schedule in advance? Like, do you tell them on the day? Like, how do you kind of figure that out?
Yeah. Scotty does an excellent job just communicating with those guys, understanding as they're preparing for the next day what periods and what reps they're going to get.
Was the length of this practice dictated by the collective bargaining agreement, or is this the length that you wanted?
This is probably the shortest practice we'll next 2 days. Yesterday or today and tomorrow will be the shortest practice we'll have in a long time, and so that's just the way. With the CBA coming off of it, we're ramping up. The big thing is we want to be able to be ready to maximize and just really max out, next week with our practices.
And you're good with all the CBA rules for practice? Like, you feel you get enough time on the field?
we're coaches. We all want to do as many reps as we possibly can. But again, this is a building process, and what we want to do is build these guys up from a physical standpoint so that they're healthy and they're ready to go next week when we get into the pad phase.
Do you feel a sense of urgency as far as identifying a starter, or is it important for you to let it breathe and see what it is?
Yeah, obviously, the sooner you make a decision, the sooner you can focus in on certain personnel groups and certain consistencies. But we'll let the process take it as long as it needs to, and when we make that decision, we'll roll.
Just a different look on your defensive line. We had the 4-3 look last year, more of a 3-4 look this year. How's that rotating the players?
Been good. I think really a lot of it, just because of what the OTAs are, is this is your first look at those guys out there on the field competing in some capacity, all on the field at the same time. Thought these guys have done an awesome job all offseason with some of the adjustment for guys who are returning, and I think it'll allow those guys to play a number of different positions, do a number of different things that will suit their skills.
Was there something you saw from Spencer in the spring that made you want him to be the first guy up, so to say?
Well, I think we have a bunch of statistics and stuff based off OTAs, and I mean these guys are writing it's literally the same exact numbers in every category, and so they're very consistent throughout the whole process. Spencer's obviously been here one more year. We just start with him, and then we'll go from there, and I won't worry too much about that.
Do you think Tyler has any, sort of an edge? The fact that he was drafted with you and his coaching staff kind of in place, so he's like quote unquote one of your guys that you brought in there and all?
I view them all the same. Love these guys. These guys have been awesome all offseason, and fired up just to let those guys play it out and go for it.
What made you want to have Jake be part of that conversation? Was there something you saw from him last year?
Yeah, certainly through this whole process. I mean, going back to when he was coming out of the draft, we liked him. I was in LA that year. We liked him. We liked Spencer last year when I was in Philadelphia, and so that's the unique thing of this profession. Sometimes you go somewhere else and you end up running back into each other, and so we feel good about letting all these guys go for it.
How much did you pick your brother's brain about Jake at all?
I've known Jake for a while. He played at Washington for my college coach, and then obviously my brother coached him at Fresno State. So certainly there's plenty of familiarity there.
As far as foundation building or big picture, look at this. Is that a time for training camp to really set the foundation and ideals that you want to have this, carry over for the next 3 to 5 years here, or is that more OTAs, mini camp? Like, how do you view that?
You're just continuing to build each and every day. What we did in OTAs was a really good foundation. We got to just keep stacking it, keep growing, and I think our guys are embracing that.
Kellen, Cam Jordan, DeMario Davis, what was it like for you coaching against them and now coaching with them on the team?
Yeah, they're obviously some of the premier players of our league. They've just done it at a really high level for such a long time. Excellent teammates, excellent players. They got a great feel for the game. I think a lot of our younger guys can lean into their experiences and learn from those guys and help them be ready to go.
Kind of going off that, I mean, especially with Tyron retiring too, and there being a lot of younger developmental guys on defense as well. How much are you going to have to rely on guys like Cam and DeMario to really, step into that leadership? I don't want to say step in because they already have, but their leadership.
I think veterans in general in this league, when you're around the best, they support and help the other younger guys, and they bring them along the way. I think we got a ton of veterans that are going to do that. Not just Cam and DeMario, but Justin and Pete and so many of those other guys on the defensive side and on the offensive side. You got B. Cooks, you got Alvin, who's done it for a long time. You got Eric, so much of that offensive line, and so we got a number of guys that'll help this thing.
When it comes to the 3 quarterbacks, they all have different levels of mobility.
Mm-hmm.
How much will that factor into the decision who will do the QB1?
I think the most important thing is you got to be able to throw the football on passing downs. That's one of the most critical aspects of playing quarterback. Is there's third downs, there's situations where the whole world knows we're throwing the football, and we got to perform there. And so the running game is obviously a huge bonus. You've seen around our league that your ability to run in some capacity certainly will help, and so we'll see how that goes.
Would you say that everything kind of came together today from the staff, the players, the whole operation, and the fans, and this kind of sets a good tone for the training camp?
I just think a lot of work goes into building a training camp, and so we appreciate everything that people within the Saints organization in Metairie have done to set this thing up. This is a beautiful setting for training camp. It's a great setup with our fields, with the fans here, and we're fired up to be here for the next few weeks.
You have guys, going back to DeMario and Cam, who've been here, you're so used to kind of like a culture, and you're coming in and bringing your own flavor. Like, do you explain more to them, or is it less because they've been around so long? Like, what's kind of those conversations like?
I think a lot of it's the same. Certainly you talk to some of the veterans a little bit more at times. We do have a leadership council where you spend some time with those guys just to kind of talk through scenarios and make sure they're all seeing it the same way, and so we got excellent leadership on this team, excellent veterans, and even young guys that are rising up in a veteran way.
How big is the council?
I think we're at somewhere between 12 to 14.
You're confident that at some point in this training camp, one of the quarterbacks will sort of present himself to you and you'll know who your starter is? And are you good at just, not trying to overthink it, but waiting for that to happen?
Yeah, I think a lot of times it does. These guys have been really competitive, and so we'll let the process take its course. Sometimes you gotta make tough decisions, but usually one of these guys, will naturally play himself into it.
You've referenced the Chargers game already a couple of times, even yesterday, about that being a hallmark of the decision to be who will be the starting quarterback. How much will that be a final decision on who the performance there will have for each spot for the rest of the game?
Well, I think one of the biggest things is at the end of the day, playing quarterback, there's a lot of things around you, and you're in a controlled environment in practice, and so it's our first chance to play with live action, and the ability to get sacked, the ability to get hit, some of those components there, which will be very valuable for those quarterbacks, and it'll be the first step in that process to see how they respond.
And the one who does the best out of those three, they get the longest of the leashes, presumably, as far as the lead dog spot?
We'll see. We'll kind of piece this thing all together, and we'll see how it goes. And again, that's not the Chargers isn't the end all be all. It's the first time out there, and we'll see how it goes from there.
You guys had Bayless Jones in the offseason. What did you see about him in Chicago? So I think he could bring his offense.
Yeah, Bayless, he brings a tremendous value in special teams, but his transition going to running back, sometimes the transition takes a little bit of time, and so he's done an excellent job being out here with us, going through that transition. He's doing an awesome job. He's got some big-time playmaking ability that'll show up in the run game as well, and so we're excited to let him keep growing.
I know it's a blur and you have a schedule, but this is your first training camp as a head coach. Did you take anything in? Did you enjoy a moment at all?
No, not really. It was training camp. It was fun. It was good to get the guys out here and get ourselves going.
Are you satisfied with the tight end room right now as far as the depth, considering Parker retiring and then Avery tomorrow, Taysom? Where are you at with the tight end room? Do you think there's room for improvement, or are you satisfied with the depth?
I'd just say, like any position, we're always trying to acquire players and acquire talent, and so we'll see how it goes. If something pops up, we're more than willing to do it. But I think that group's worked their tail off. There are some younger guys in there that are continuing to grow, and so you see those leaps come in through training camp, and so we'll see how it goes.
How would you assess how the defensive players have bought into Brandon Staley so far? Has there been anything that you kind of noticed behind the scenes with that, and how would you kind of assess that situation?
I think a lot of the stuff that you can see during training camp and OTAs is just the energy on the sideline on that defensive side, their emphasis on the ball. They got a, I think D-Jack got a strip attempt on there and got the ball out, and you just saw the whole side rally on that, and you just saw them, really embracing the core values that they believe in.
What's the messaging to the safety room? Obviously, Justin Reed is a veteran there, but some young players who is obviously now a role to be won there.
Yeah, great opportunities for everyone. Everyone will get an opportunity. We'll go through this process, and it's got to be an exciting time. That's all any player can ever ask for.
Coach Connor's job, Dr. Kellen, was the Manning Catholic Academy that week. How does that respond to his, I guess I'd say, first?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of players in some capacity that have gone through this thing over the last 10 plus years have gone to the Manning Pass Academy, either as a player, a counselor, or in some other form. And so it's one of the best of the best. What the Mannings do down there is phenomenal for Louisiana, but for the game of football. And so it was really cool to see Tyler going down there. Not a lot of guys that are in the NFL because your time is limited and you got a little bit of a window in the summer to get away. For him to go down there and spend time with those guys is obviously awesome.
Kellen, it looked like Clyde and Devin Neal got a little run once today. How moving do you expect that running back to be?
Yeah, behind Alvin, we'll continue to rotate all those guys and give each guy an opportunity, and it'll be a fun battle. Let those guys play it out.
Will that be day to day like the quarterback?
Yeah, day to day.
Thanks, Kellen.
All right, awesome. Thanks, guys.